This is a complete view of the Sky Venture model. The cladding is made up of triangular panels supported by structural tubular frames. These structural frames are fixed to concrete core walls and footings. Each panel has a unique geometric shape and none of the panels are repeated. Each panel is on a different plane. Here you can see the initial tubular structural framework known as the primary members. These are connected to concrete core walls and footings. Here you can see the secondary frame members. They have been added to each of the triangular primary frames. The cyan-coloured members are secondary edge members and the yellow-coloured members are secondary internal members. Here the internal trusses, which you can see in blue, have been added to the secondary frames. Finally, in this view, you can see that the panels are fixed to each of these triangular frames consisting of primary, secondary and truss members. As each panel is on a different plane and is of unique geometric dimensions, it is tedious and time-consuming to create secondary panel members for each panel manually. To achieve this automatically, we made use of API developed in-house. Firstly, select the panel for which you want to create the secondary frame. Then click Add New Frames on the API interface. The frame is created within seconds. This can be applied to multiple panels in a single shot. To do this, select all the panels for which you want to create the secondary frames, and then click the Add New Frames button on the API interface. Similarly, all internal trusses for singular or multiple panels can be created by using API, as being shown here. For this, select one or more panels. Then, click the Draw Secondary Truss button on the API interface. The depth of the internal truss at the centroid of the panel is obtained from the panel's properties by API. Each panel has a unique truss depth that depends on the design requirement. Here you can see that the truss depth is 800 mm, which is obtained from the user field 4 of the panel as being highlighted. The selected panel shown here has a value of 600 in its user field 4. Now if you check the depth of the truss in this panel, it is also 600. Structural connections. Many connections have been designed and applied to this model. Most of the unique yet repetitive connections are applied by API developed in-house. We will now see how the connections are applied to the model using API. First, click on the Apply Connection button on the API interface. Now pick the two parts of the secondary frame, which has already been split into two. The connection is then applied, as you can see. In the case of the secondary frame member not being split, you have to pick the same member twice as being shown. The member gets split in the middle and the connection is then applied. Reinforcement plates. Reinforcement plates are required at the ends and in the middle of each of the panel trusses. Due to the varying geometry of each of the truss members, these reinforcement plates are of different shapes. It would be tedious and time-consuming to model each plate for hundreds of panels in this model, and so we did this automatically using API, as we will now demonstrate. For clear visibility of reinforcement plates, we have made the secondary frame members transparent. Now select the contour plate of the secondary panel and then click on the Add Reinforcement Plates button on the API interface. You can see the odd-shaped reinforcement plates appearing in the three corners and in the middle of the panel. Now let us see a few snapshots from the model and the corresponding elements as they appear once fabricated and erected on site. This is a typical node. This is a typical node with primary frame members. This is a typical node connected to a concrete core wall. Now you can see the front view of a node connected to a concrete core wall. From model to reality.